Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Shadow Act Live. Thank you for joining us. My name is Trey Mangum, and I'm an editor for Shadow Act. And today I'm joined by the breakout star of the hottest series of the summer. She plays the already iconic Mercedes, the OG of stars P Valley. Please welcome Brandi Evans. Hey, Brandi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We're so excited to talk with you about P Valley and much more today. Should be an exciting conversation.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Finally, y'all.
Yes, finally. We've been trying to get Brandi here for a long time. We're so happy that she's here with us now. So first of all, how are you and how have you been holding up during the pandemic? We've been through so many changes. We thought would be out of quarantine by August, yet we're still here. How have you been and how have you changed since all this started?
I'm still making it. I'm tired of this mess, man. I mean, I'm making it through and just, trying to be as safe as I can, especially for my mom too. So I know some people are dipping and skipping out here and there, and I can't really do that because I got to make sure that I keep her safe. So I'm holding up as best can be. And P Valley is keeping me very busy and giving us something great to watch on TV. So it's been good.
Yeah, I bet. It's been interesting to see your star like rise in real time and the show get popular week after week. For context, Shadow Act dropped the very first trailer. I think there were some teasers before that, but we dropped the first trailer for P Valley, and we had a conversation with Katori Hall that also went live with it. And Brandi and I were messaging way back when. This was like early quarantine, like maybe 3 months ago. I had probably seen about half of the series, but I told Brandi then, I was like, this is the one. People are going to be talking about this, and here we are months later, and everyone is literally talking about P Valley.
Yeah.
Did you see any of this coming? Is it surprising? Did you know that it would tap in and resonate with viewers like that?
No, you know what? I knew that the show was good, and I prayed and I hoped that the world would receive it. But whoo, child, I did not expect this. And these fans, y'all go hard out there. Like
you have fan accounts and stan accounts. If you look at like Mercedes on Instagram, I'm sure there are 4 or 5 people that are just dedicated to post about you and everybody else.
Wow, it's amazing. They really go hard. They go so hard that I jumped on a live and they called me fraudulent. I was like, I swear it's me, y'all. My natural hair. But so they are very invested and they have questions and they're just so involved and I love it. So thank y'all so much for the support.
Yeah, and even outside of the fan response, the critical response has been great too. It is rare to get that 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, even after even like when the first week, because reviews kind of trickle out. So
right.
Once the embargo list, people may post, then like later on premieres, people may post and continue. And P Valley still has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like when I say the hottest series of summer, I'm not lying. How does it feel to get this information from critics as well, especially about your performance? Because you're the lead. You're the lead of the show.
I think I'm still in shock about it. A lot of people are asking like, how are you dealing with this? And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm just kind of staying to myself and soaking it in. It's just so amazing because these are the things that I've watched. I watched these amazing actors and actresses, when I wanted to act, get these types of praise for what their work is and their show. And I'm like, me, like, thank you, so I'm just so honored. I am just so humbled and honored by it. And I'm so grateful to get the reviews from the critics. I was like, wow, like y'all really like our show. Thank you. Katori did that. She did a good job.
Yeah, and even more so from a personal perspective from you. Like I know you've been grinding for years, and I can only imagine like getting this phone call and learning about this series. And not only are you going to be on the series, you are the center of it. And it's, P Valley is an ensemble drama. Yeah. There's different people doing different things, but all the characters are interconnected. And in a way, they're like a branch off of your story to some extent. So how does that feel to be in this moment where you're just like, I'm here, I've arrived, give me my thing.
Look, I'm like, have I, you know what? Because I never want to feel like I've arrived. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it is just staying in this moment and just trying to do good work. and just taking it one day at a time and enjoying it. So it's still shocking to me. I'm still in acting classes. I'm like, okay, Tasha, when's class start up? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a student. So I'm just in shock, honestly. I really have no words for it, because I'm just like, when I hear lead, I'm like, really? You know, it's just like the whole show, like you said, the ensemble cast, everyone is so strong and so good. And I'm just grateful to be a part of it. It would be a show I would watch even if I wasn't a part of it. So to be a part of it is just amazing. It feels good. It feels good.
Did you know a lot about P-Valley before? Like, did you know any of like the stage iterations? And was that any sort of use when you were crafting the character?
No, that's a really good question. I had to have a crash course in not only pole dancing, the world itself, P-Valley, and I grew up in Memphis, and I'm just like, what is this neighborhood? So I had to go back home and did research. And even still to this day, I'm still researching and learning and growing, you know, with everything, because this show is a lot. You know, it has a lot going on, and every character has a big, huge storyline. So I'm still learning and growing with this show as well. I mean, my daddy kept me a little sheltered, so I didn't frequent the P-Valley neighborhood growing up. You know what? I'm going to actually ask him about this when we get off this call. Like, Daddy, you knew about P-Valley. But being a PK, I was at the house and at church and at the dance team rehearsals and repeat.
Wow. That was kind of, I was going to ask you about that. Like, what sort of real life experiences did you draw from when taking on this character? You know, I even relate to this, like the setting a lot. I'm from like probably one of the most rural towns in North Carolina, very, very southern, very, very religious as well. So how much do you relate to Mercedes? Like, how much, you know, it's you and then Mercedes, like how much is similar, how much is dissimilar?
You know what's funny? I'm very similar to her in a lot of ways. For one, of course, I'm a PK, and I think everybody knows that by now. But my daddy is not crazy like Patrice, y'all. So, you know, daddy was strict and, you know, about the business of the church, but he also allowed me to live my dream. So some people are so strict that, you know, they couldn't take dance classes and things of that sort. That wasn't my daddy. He was always supporting my dreams. But I did use that feeling of knowing how certain church members would feel about me dancing or things like that. So I used that when it came to Mercedes. The toxic relationship with my mom growing up. Anybody back home is probably still in shock, honestly, that I'm her caregiver, because that relationship growing up was a hot mess. But, you know, forgiveness and growth. So I'm able to tap back into that moment when things weren't so good with my mom. And she never had me twerking at the Waffle House, y'all. But there were some things that y'all hear about in the book, maybe. But, you know, there was...
I'm looking out for that.
Yeah, we have to grow through together. And then there's the dance team world. Now that right there is completely authentic. I'm worse than Mercedes. Like when I tell you I'm the Bobby Knight of dance, like I'm gonna put it out there now because I'm sure it's gonna come out. Yes, I did it. I have thrown chairs. Probably at like a 6-year-old, y'all. Like I need to drop the pom-pom, but I think I chunked a chair. I've thrown shoes. I've done some things. And then I'm always that one, like I was that coach who was just like, if you got a boyfriend, I got to meet him. You know, how old are you? So I'm very much so that, you know, to Mercedes and that, like, you can't wear your shorts. And they'd be like, well, Miss Brandee, we saw you at the Grizzlies game. And I'm like, I'm a grown woman. You gonna put your pants on before you walk outside. So that part of me is very similar. The only thing I haven't done is actually stripped or done exotic dancing. I did a hip hop and heels company. I have a hip hop and heels company. And I teach women how to be sexy and confident in their heels and in their own body. But that's as sexy as I got, you know? So I'm so grateful to learn from these ladies and my teachers. Jamaica Craft brought in So Spider for me, and just being confident in my body and everything. So that helped me too, because we were on the stages with dance teams and, you know, artists and touring, but this is a different world when you got to put a thong on and dance in front of strangers. So women helped me boost my confidence as well.
Yeah. I wanted to ask also about any sort of, I guess, on-the-job training that you may have had. I know Katori has talked about in numerous interviews about the long time that she took in just immersing herself in this type of world and learning about these people. And I want to know if you had a similar experience.
You know, I went to every club in Memphis, even if it wasn't a good one, because I know some people in Memphis like, what clubs? You know, like the ones that we have there, y'all, I went to them. And then I went to all the clubs in Atlanta. I think almost everyone in Atlanta. And then, of course, LA. And then my coach, So Spider, actually took me to Crazy Girls in LA and did a whole autumn night type moment with me.
Wow.
From episode like walking around, like, okay, he's good, he's not good. She dancing for the wrong man, girl. Like just really paying attention and look at how she moves, look how she comes off the pole, look how she, what she's wearing. It was like studying for a research paper. I literally was in my phone, like taking notes, and they allowed me to have a phone, which was surprising because some clubs don't allow you to have cell phones. Mm-hmm. And record, but they allowed me to do that, so I was able to record the ladies. And even in Memphis, one girl, I'm sorry, girl, if you're watching now, I was paying her, tipping her, and asking her questions about her life. I know she was like, "Am I being interviewed? I'm just here to dance for you." But I really wanted to know the world, and just how I saw her run after a girl that picked up some of her money one time. I was like, "Oh, this is a lot going on. You got to watch your money." Just all the little things that you don't know if you're not privy to that world.
Yeah, and you may not have had that experience, but we do know that you're like a dancer, like Katy Perry, Snoop Dogg. We can go on and on down a whole list.
And not a video vixen. Somebody out there was like, she was a video vixen. You a lie, okay?
No, we're talking about stadiums for concerts, and that's what we're talking about. That. Right. How much did that skill play into you being this character? And did it help you in any sort of like catching onto like the pole dancing and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. Because I remember thinking when I had to come out for Mercedes Sundays, that first dance of episode 1, and I was nervous, and I'm like, okay, you have danced at the O2 Arena twice. You know what I mean? Like, you are sold out. You are fine. It's not that many people out there. It's fine. So I literally just tapped back into that world. Like, this is like being back on tour with Snoop or Kelly Rowland or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I just went into that mode of, we're here to perform and it's fine. And then it would be over, and I'm like, oh crap, it's over. I want to do it again. I remember crying after episode 1 because I only got 2 takes to do that. And I wanted another take because the dancer in me was like, wait, I want to try these other tricks that Spider taught me. I got some more in me. They were like, we got enough. And I'm like, do you? that competitive dancer in me wanted to do more.
Have you looked at any of the other projects that have come out recently about, like, I know we're in this era where post-Me Too, humanizing sex workers and humanizing these stories centering on exotic dancers. Like, we know we had Hustlers last year. Was there any type of, whether it's film or TV project that you look to like kind of see, okay, this may be the vibe that we're going for?
You know what? I've watched all of those in support because I think that everyone has a different story that needs to be told. Hustlers is very different than Players Club is very different than P-Valley. So I've watched pretty much everything, even down to Beyond the Pole, which is a reality show. But there is no direction like P-Valley. So for me, it was more so, let's just watch and see what these women, are like and what their stories are that are being told. The Wall Street story on Hustlers and things like that. I love the Players Club, and so does my mom, but they also aren't doing the acrobats and the stunts that we are doing on P-Valley. So you really can't compare the two, but it's somebody's story. So, yeah.
And as the dancer that you are, how many of the stunts did you do yourself, and do y'all have body doubles?
Yes, I did about 98%, and we do have everybody.
Very, very high.
Thank you. Everyone has to have a double just for safety, period. But the part everyone is going crazy about, that ceiling part, and that was not me, that was Spider. So thank you, Spider, for making me look good. The other stunts, anytime you're dropping from a head, that's never the actor, y'all. That has to be a body double because of safety and security. But there were some stunts I wasn't supposed to do, like when I climbed to the top and did the sit-ups. I did that. That is all me. I'm doing the Bam Ferry in the very beginning when you first see Mercedes come out and slam into that split. That is really me. And then by that time, I feel like stars trusted me. So that's really me at the top on episode 3, where you see the ladies stacked, and that's really me at the top. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm already sneaking into the studio practicing. So I'm like, they're going to have to let me do something now. So they started, and it's safety too, which I appreciate, but they started to be able to trust more and see, okay, she knows what she's doing, and allow me to do a little bit more as well.
Yeah. A lot about Hollywood has changed during this pandemic, and it's going to continue to change. What advice would you give to any Black creative, whether, someone who wants to be an actor, director, writer, et cetera, what advice would you give them on trying to work on and improve their craft at a time like this?
Oh my gosh, at a time like this is an amazing time, honestly. Even though we aren't in the studios right now. A few people are kind of trickling back in now, but you got all the time in the world. I know that everyone has different things going on at home. But hopefully you can find some time to study. You got Tasha Smith doing acting classes online. You got Richard Lawson, Raquel Gardner. So the first step is to get in a good class. And every class that I have ever taken is online now. So it's really no excuse. You know what I mean? Like you can figure it out. You can study late at night or something has to work. Y'all, people got to sleep. So if you a mama, your kids gonna go to sleep. You just got to sacrifice your sleep. And so those are the types of things that I was doing. I'm a full-time caregiver. But before the pandemic, I was rolling my mama in acting class. When she was asleep, I was studying. You know what I mean? You have to give up something to get something as well. So you can't expect that, oh, I'm going to get my full 8 to 10 hours a night and do this and that and then live my dream too. Sometimes that is not realistic, y'all. So make a way, kick the door down, find a way and work for what you really want.
Yeah. Speaking of the pandemic, congratulations, first of all, on season 2. We already know early renewal, like I think 2 to 3 episodes in, we knew that P-Valley is coming back. And yes.
Wow.
So exciting. P-Valley is an intimate show. And I don't mean intimate in the terms of romantic scenes. I mean intimate as just far as, actors having to be close. Like anytime Uncle Clifford got to get in somebody's face, like just to that extent. So how do you think that may change how the second season is approached? Do you think things may have to be retooled or like you might have to go back later just to ensure that that same quality is still there? How do you think that would look?
I think it's going to be fun. And honestly, knowing the type of writer Katori is, she's going to probably just bring real life into the storyline. We're probably going to be in mask in the club, which is reality now. You know what I mean?
I've seen a news story about that. I think it may have been in Texas, the drive-through strip club.
I was sitting up there, I saw that little post and I was like, I would love to actually have a scene where it's a drive-through and Mercedes is on that pole.
Got the mask on.
And Uncle Cliff can get right in our face with that mask on. You can have dance with a mask on, and I there's nothing that you need on the pole but a mask to make sure everyone else is safe. And then we clean the pole with alcohol anyway. So we good. Let's go.
Because I know a lot of people, the way, pilot season got moved and every show that people thought would come back in the fall or in the spring. So everyone's probably sitting home like, dang, we're gonna get P-Valley to like.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. P-Valley season 2 probably coming for a good old while, but just so much fun.
and it leaves enough time so when it does come back, people are like, dang, it's been a long time. Like I can't wait. It's that the heart grows fonder with something's missing. So I think people will be even more excited for that point. But this season is rolling by. It's zooming by. Like I think I'm going to blink, and it's going to be the season finale. So quickly.
I woke up this morning, I was like, we on 6. Oh God, we more than halfway done. Okay.
Like seriously. What do you think, without, giving any specific details, what do you think people will be surprised the most about as the season continues to unfold?
Relationships. Relationships and alliances.
I know where you're going with that, and I can't say that too, but I agree. I got you.
Yep. Relationships and alliances. And it's going to make everybody want to go back, I think, and watch from the beginning, like, oh, word? Okay. Wait, when did this start to unfold?
Yeah. Even with the episodes that are kind of like in the middle of the season now, I'm going back and, when initially with my review, I had to go back and like look at some scenes. I'm like, wait. It kind of makes everything starts to add up and gel together. And then you think a character may have had like initial motivations that may have changed, that were in like episode 1 or 2, that may have evolved and changed by, 4 and 5. And then once we get there, like, you're like, okay, well, this is everything connects.
Too, because I saw someone in one of the messages someone sent me, and that's a good point. And they were like, wait, Mercedes them told us in episode 1 that she had a daughter if we paid attention, because she says, that Patrice says that girl getting too big for them shorts. And Mercedes looks at her and goes, her mama don't mind it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Mama don't mind it because I'm her mama. Like
Yeah, and even with that storyline, like I was going back and like saying, wait, and then like once you piece it all together, it's like a lot of stuff was here at this moment, and you didn't piece it together until like it was like explained like for you, but it's like, oh, we knew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look at some of the comments right now. Someone said, "You're so funny, positive, and engaging." Yes, shout out to you for being here with us. Yeah, someone called you a survivor.
I just got chills. Whoever said that, you just gave me chills because, whew, you're right.
Look, it's weird. I can't explain like how good it is to see. I told you this happens in real time. Like, I saw when you first came out with the show or whatever, and then as months go on, the show finally comes out, and it's like you blew up. Like it's really good to see. We have a question from Karen Jeter who says, "Is season 2 going to be longer?" I'm sure you don't know specific details, but I'd like to add on to and say, like, is there anything in particular that you would like to see from season 2? Someone also said season 2 needs to be longer.
Episodes for season 2, and you know what, y'all? I think. Forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but I think it's a Stars thing, which. Even Power got 8 episodes their first season, and it looks like everyone gets 8 and then they bump to a 10. So I know some people are like, we need 12, 15. Y'all, I don't think so.
Even outside the Stars kind of reminds me of networks like Netflix, Hulu, etc. They seem to go by this 8, 9, 10. Like gone. I mean, TV has changed in that in like recent years. Like, you have like broadcast shows that may used to do like 22 episode season, and now those are getting cut, and I guess it's part of narrative storytelling too. Yeah. You're able to fit in succinct storylines, because like I can say without spoiling anything, it's a complete story with season 1. Everything lines up. You're like, okay, the objective is achieved, and it doesn't leave like it leaves. You think about what you think happens in season 2, but it doesn't leave anything like to the.
You're right. We tie up all the loose ends by the time you finish. So all the things you've been worrying about since episode 1, you get all that tied up, and now everything I think that will come in 2 is just like, I hope this happens. You know what I mean?
It still leaves a lot of it in the open. Still.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Someone asked, what were the biggest challenges portraying the character? And was it awkward constantly wearing limited clothing?
You know what? The challenges, it was so many challenges. It was such a what word am I looking for? It's a lot going on this show, y'all. You know what I mean? Like hair to makeup to wardrobe to the dancing, the acting, because I would go from crying in a scene to now I have to go be sexy, or now I have to go coach my dance team. I might have to go fight. And it's just like one day. So it's just like you gotta go from crying to what's up. You know what I mean? It's just like a lot of emotions with that. So with that, I felt a little bipolar at times coming home, like, oh Lord, I've went through a lot today. It's been a heavy day. And the limited clothes, you know what? I got more comfortable with it. The good thing is our background, which y'all don't know, is we rotated the same background. And so we got used to those people. They became our family. I hope that I see those people in season 2. I hope that they bring them back. And even for Mercedes' first dance, Uncle Clifford and I, Nico Anand, we walked around, and I actually picked everyone that was around the stage that close to me, because ladies, y'all know, who won't just be in thong like that around strangers? Like, and this isn't what you do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I was just like, whew. But I love that the female directors and we have so many females on the set, and they were open to us doing that. And so everyone that was around that stage, I handpicked, and even down to the young man that was at the end of the stage. When Mercedes' mom comes in, I picked him, had a conversation like, listen, you know what I mean? Like, what's up? And then what's funny is he had never been to a strip club. So that's why I picked him. And he was like, yes, ma'am. I said, did you say ma'am to me? I said, how old are you? And he was like 20. I was like, he the one. I'm about to turn him out. So, but yeah, it made it fun on set. So we became that family. So I would be sitting up in wardrobe, be like, Brandee, or they throw me my robe because I'm sitting up there with a sheer, you know what I mean, topless thing. But the guys or even the women, we're actually talking to each other, looking at each other in the eye, because we become family. You know what I mean? Like, I know you got a son. I know how's school going. You know, he gets straight A's. No, it was really a family on P Valley.
And something I want to touch on that you kind of brought it was the female gaze that this show is presented by, and I think that it's a lot in fact due to the women directors. Like I actually listened to, I think Katori did an interview with Hollywood Reporter speaking about like it wasn't intentionally supposed to be like that, but she said none of the male directors that she was in conversation with, she just realized we're just gonna have to go with all women. How important was it for you to have that perspective from behind the lens? Because as we've seen in other films that are set in clubs like this or settings like this, period, it depends on who's the one like giving us the story, and I think that has a lot to do with what we see in P Valley.
I think that, first of all, I would not have been comfortable. I think that was the question my dad was asking me, like, who's making this? You know what I mean? Like,
who making it?
Who's doing this? Who? And, and I told my dad who, and I was like, she's from Memphis and a woman. And then I will just never forget, and I'm going to keep telling this story. Karina, who is our episode 1 director, Karina Evans. Amazing. And it was during the camera test. And it's the picture where Nico has, Uncle Clifford has, and it says Mercedes Last Dance. And I'm turned to the back. I remember that picture was taken during camera tests, and I'm standing there in a thong in front of all of these people. I've never, you know what I mean? I've never had my costume on until this moment. And I just remember being so nervous. She's like, turn to the back. And I was like, and then she takes the camera and takes a picture, and then she turns the camera towards me and she goes, I will never shoot you in a way that I won't shoot my own body or myself. You are safe. And it was the most beautiful picture. And I felt so safe. And so just having those women there all the time, oh my gosh, Carol, our first AD, had my back throughout so many situations on set. Just as a women, y'all know, you know what I mean? We in thongs every day. It can get very nervous in certain times, you know what I mean? So, to have those women that have your back and know what you're going through. I love you guys, but y'all just don't get it like a woman. And so it felt really good to know that they had our back in every way.
Yeah. We have time for like maybe one more question. I'm going to find, someone asked, is it difficult not bringing the character of Mercedes home with you? And if so, how do you disconnect after filming?
Friends, real friends, like my bestie over there, Sasha, who will be like, I don't know who you're talking to because you're not Mercedes. You know what I mean? Like if you have that moment, but I am so similar to her with that, you know what I mean? I keep it real. I will tell you how I feel. I don't care who you are. So that part of me is very genuine. And Katori likes to say that we all have a little bit of our characters in us. And that is true of me. So it wasn't too difficult because I kind of was still being myself. It was more so jumping back into my grammar, if I'm honest, because that English teacher in me slipped away because I had to turn that switch off. And I was like, wait a minute, subject verb agreement, you're forgetting about this now. Let's put it back. Let's do it. Here. Even at times now, even watching the show, I catch myself and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, let's come back and get back into Brandee a little bit more.
Are there any other things that you took from being a teacher and applied it here? I relate to that a lot too, because my mom was a 7th grade language arts teacher. So same vibe. Is there anything surprising that you took from that job and applied to not only P Valley, but just like acting in general?
I'm organized. I'm a lesson planner. So and that may come from Tasha Smith on top of teaching too, but I always had a binder. So everything, my binder is laid out. I've got my little tabs like I have for my students. You know what I mean? My syllabus is written out for the week. I know what it is. And if it changes, like I have to redo it all. I don't know what that is about me, but it's the computer nerd in me. I have to type stuff out. Like, yeah, that teacher is in me, seriously. And if someone would change some things too, I'm like, wait, was that supposed to be changed? Because that wasn't what was on my syllabus.
That's not what I thought was going to happen. So what happened? But yeah, I think that's about all the time we have. It was so great talking with you today. We can't wait. I can't wait. I've already seen it. I can't wait to see it again the rest of this season. And I'm already sad that we're going to have to wait so long for season 2. But it's always good when it's an iconic show like this one, and one that's like so different, so game changing. I feel like sometimes that wait is good because you want to be like, hey, when it comes back, you're going to love it even more. Right. So thank you.
Game of Thrones, y'all better wait for us.
Exactly. And even, I mean, there's several shows that have like went on extended breaks.
Insecure.
That too. So they can wait just a little bit longer for Q.
Yep. But thank you so much for having me. It's been great. And I've been waiting to talk with Shadow Next. So thank you.
You have to come back. You know, sometimes season 2, we're gonna have you back.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank you.
You have a good day.